Hey guys, just going to give it a couple of seconds here for people to kind of get into the room. If everybody wouldn't mind, obviously just muting your microphones. And then if anybody has any questions, please put them into the chat box, and we will answer questions at the end. Again, I'm just going to wait for a couple of maybe an additional kind of 30 seconds here, just to make sure that everybody is connecting, they can hear the audio, and kind of everything's going well from there. So like I say, 20-30 seconds here just to make sure that everybody gets in and we don't miss anything. Just to kind of reiterate here, guys, questions in the chat box. If you have them, we'll answer all of the questions at the end. And then obviously microphones set to mute if you have them. Just want to kind of very quickly introduce myself, and then obviously another one of my co-workers here on the call. So I'm Lee Hudson. I'm the US market manager for our South Central region here in the US. I also manage all of our national accounts here in the US. We have Chris Waugh, who's also going to be assisting me today. He is our Atlantic market manager based in Orlando. He will cover all of the Atlantic region. And today, the presentation that we're going to be doing is developing players through the use of artificial intelligence and technology. We'll be covering a multiple of areas here, including how to use our platform, but mainly looking at this from a coaching standpoint. So just to let everybody know, before I was an employee of VO, I spent a majority of my life within the coaching realm. I was up in Michigan for many years working for Liverpool International Academy. I was a director of coaching for their Ann Arbor site up there, and I've been in the States now for going on 13 years. So knowing the coaching world within the US, knowing the market, and obviously looking at this through the lens of a coach and not through the lens of this being a sales pitch, I want to obviously help and guide everybody towards what VO is being able to do within the grassroots level and within the top level as well. We are a product that is not only for the top of the top, but this is something that we want to see revolutionize the world of grassroots soccer here, both in the US and globally as well. So hopefully what you'll see contained within this presentation today will be enough to kind of pique your interest, reach out, and hopefully we'll get some great questions towards the end as well. So moving on with the presentation. This is our camera app for VO that have recently been developed, and this is what we see is going to be the game changer within VO moving forward using our native app. That is our native app that we have created here at VO to be able to access the camera. You want to think of your smart device, your tablet, your cell phone as the remote control that starts the camera. So literally going into the App Store, downloading it, connecting to your camera. You'll have a preview as it just showed you there, the full field, and then hitting record. Once you've done that, you can put your phone back in your pocket. You can carry on using your cell phone. There's no requirement for you to be connected to the camera the entire time through your cell phone. You can, again, carry on using it, making calls, whatever. And then as soon as you're ready to stop the recording, go back into the app, hit stop, and then obviously it's going to be stored on the internal hard drive of the camera. You can go in there, you can change the name of the game, you can edit what you want it to be called, ready for then it to be uploaded from there. So a very, very, very simple process to get it going. Shouldn't be taking any longer than a minute to a minute and a half to get everything kind of ready and good to go. So breaking down the game and training. So what we're going to be going through here today is how to use our platform. The simplest way for you as coaches, or if you're very lucky to have video analysts on your department, how they can use our VO platform to be able to break down not just games, but training as well, and how we can kind of work that into the player's overall development. So the four areas that we're going to be touching on today are the general highlight, the quick tag feature, the draw on screen, and then the directed highlight. The directed highlight is our favorite part of the platform. It gives our users the ability to actually take control of the camera themselves and steer, point in any direction that they want. Because the camera films at 180 degrees, anything that is within that 180-degree arc is what's being captured on the VO camera. So as long as it's within there, once you go back and watch the game later on, you'll be able to kind of visually see what's going on within that arc. We're going to touch on the player profiles. So creating profiles and then tagging players in highlights. This is a fantastic feature for players to be able to use. It's very similar to the social media platforms where they get tagged in something. It's then going to kick over that tag into their player profile and house all of their VO highlights in one central location on their VO platform and on their VO profile. We find this is great for college recruitment standpoint, where players are obviously going into VO, creating their highlights, and then obviously being able to generate those highlights so that they can send on to college coaches for, to be able to view their highlights. And then obviously downloading your highlights and downloading full games as well. One thing that we don't do at VO is we do not handcuff you to the platform. We don't say, hey, everything that you're being used to doing on our VO platform, we don't want you to stay there. If you want to be able to download those, put them into an MP4 format, whether that's a full game, whether that's individual highlights, you can do that completely with our platform as well. And then later on, we're going to come back to this presentation, and we're going to be telling you exactly what's to come in 2021 here at VO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out the presentation here, and I'm going to go into our VO platform itself. Chris, can you give us a thumbs up that you can see that? Okay, mate. Fantastic. So this is our VO platform. We recorded a session with one of our partner clubs, FC Cincinnati. We were lucky enough to be invited down to the FC Cincinnati MLS Academy to record one of the training sessions that they were running down there. This is with the under-17s boys team. It's a very simple session. Obviously, many of you have run this session before, many times before, just a very simple two-box rondo that's going on down there. So if I just hit play here again, it's all going to determine how quick your internet speed is to how much you can see within this. But why is this relevant to the training aspect here? Again, our camera is capturing everything within 180 degrees. So anything within that 180-degree arc, it's capturing. So rondo box on the right, rondo box on the left. What you're seeing now is the camera. Obviously, there's two balls going on within this practice. So you're seeing the camera kind of move between the two boxes. Well, where this becomes relevant for the training aspect of the game is going into our interactive mode that we spoke about earlier. So clicking on the button here to take you into that interactive mode, that VR experience, that going back into the imagery to be able to see. So again, now as you can see, the camera isn't pointing anywhere. It's just pointing straight down the halfway line. Well, if I want to focus my attention over here on the left rondo box, as you can see, I'm steering the camera and pointing it over here. So I don't just need to be in that broadcast mode and have the camera automatically pan left, pan right, and not know what to pick up. I can now take control of the camera myself and point it in the direction in which I want to. If I want to zoom in, I can obviously zoom in, take a little bit of a closer look at the action and what the players are going on in that rondo box. Once I've focused on that, I can turn myself over and go to the right rondo box and obviously have a little look what's going on over here as well. So again, this gives the coach the flexibility to be able to see everything. All right. As one of the coaches at the academy had said, you can't hide anymore, which couldn't have been a more truest statement from an academy coach, saying the players can't hide anymore. When they're recording training, when they're recording games, you're now being able to compile what a player does in their training session and what a player does in their game. And can you see the differences? A player is putting in more effort in games and less in training. Is training more of just a routine to them where they have to do it? But we're now obviously given this flexibility to be able to see the entire training field and what's going on. You obviously hold players accountable now. You can say, hey, this is you in training and this is you in games. So we think that this is a fantastic feature to be able to use for training. If I want to go back into the regular broadcast mode, I can just X out of here, and then it just takes me right back into that regular broadcast mode. If you can see on this right-hand side over here, this is where we store all the highlights. So using that directed highlight, as we'd spoken about before, you can actually make individual highlights while you're pointing the camera at where you want to. So if I just click on this here, this is going to be an example of me just following a player around inside the right rondo box. So highlighting this player here, boxing him off, so you know who's going to be followed. and then clicking here, so you can see exactly we're now following this player around the field. And this was a highlight that I created using the directed highlight feature. So again, taking the attention off of the ball and now centering it on a player. And again, players have access to do this if you want them to. Coaches have access to do this as well. But we find that that is a fantastic feature that we can not offer only just players, but coaches as well, to obviously break down their game. So again, just a very, very quick example of what we're able to do within our platform within the directed highlight feature from there. So moving on to the next one. So within the game. So this is obviously what's happening within the game. Chris, you can give us a thumbs up. We can see that okay, that we're now on a different slide. Fantastic. So this is the game. This is a game that I recorded myself, obviously here in the state of Tennessee. I work with Tennessee Soccer Club, and this is a captured on my 08 boys team here. We were playing a game a couple of months ago. And I just kind of want to show you how, as a coach myself, how I use the VO platform to be able to break down games and be able to show my players and showcase to my players exactly how they can use it as well. So one thing that we're conducive of is coaches' time. So what coaches are actually able to do within the time frame that they have. So if you can see down the bottom here, we have these quick highlight features. So goal, attack, defense, shot on goal, free kick, penalty kick, corner, and then highlight at the end. So coaches are watching through the game. This gives you a fantastic array of ability to be able to just click on these very quick highlights down the bottom here and then make those quick tags that will then be populated over here onto the right-hand side. So if something's going on in the game, you notice that it's happened as the game's being going through, you can just quick click attack. That then will obviously bring you up a little box down the bottom here if you want to make a comment. If you don't want to, you can just simply hit create. Once it does that, as you can see on the right-hand side, it's going to populate it as an attack over on this right-hand side, and then the game's just going to pick up and carry on again. So no need to stop, start, make those highlights. You can just quickly jump in, make the highlights, and then carry on watching the video from there. If you want to go back in a little bit later and you want to actually make an adjustment to that highlight that you've created, there's going to be 3 little dots over here on the right-hand side. You can click that. You can then go into the edit part, and now you can really start to dive deep into what you want to do with that specific highlight. If you want to change that highlight from attack to something else, that we've got some predetermined ones that are listed in here. If you find a tag that's not already predetermined that we use at VO, you actually have the ability to create a new tag. So you can write your own tag. So this could be counter attack. All right. Then you can just obviously hit create. That obviously puts it in there. You can hit done. This now means you can choose the players. So all of your rostered players will be loaded into here. And then any player that you want associated with that particular highlight, you can just go ahead and tag them. You can tag a multiple of players. So if there's a few players joining in on that, then you can obviously go to Emerson and Emre. You can do that and then hit done. And then that populates those 2 players. We're going to come back to why tagging players in highlights is important a little bit later on here. If you want to write a comment in terms of what you think that was, so great counter attack, you can obviously put that in there as well. And then you can hit save. So again, all of that now is going to be populated within there. And then the players that have been tagged within it will get notified as to what has happened. And it's going to ping them, obviously, depending on their age. This is an 08 boys team for me. So it's obviously going to go to their parents' email, unless they have emails themselves. And then they're going to get a notification, just like social media, that they've been tagged in a clip and that they can go in there and watch it. So that's what we feel is very relevant to our players. And also it just kind of helps the coaches a little bit as we go through the highlights. Like we spoke about earlier, not handcuffing people to our platform. You can download these individual highlights as well. So if you wanted to just download that one particular highlight, it will go into an MP4 format. It will store on your computer. It will store on your laptop, wherever you've decided to. You can then upload that to another platform, like a movie maker type of platform. You can also then maybe players are then taking those individual downloaded highlights and creating a showcase reel with those as well. That's something that obviously we're able to allow you guys to do. So that's one area. That's the quick highlights. The second one is our draw on screen capability. So down here in the bottom right, you can see add drawing. So this is where you can actually go in there and you can start to show that visual representation. So as we all know, players are visual learners. Being shown something, they're more likely to retain that information as they're being shown it. So going in here and then physically boxing off players. So there, I want to box off that player. If I want to change the color, maybe I want to box off another player on the opposing team in orange. I can obviously draw some lines on here as well. You could even work on maybe distances between your back line. So maybe between the two players here, you can obviously draw a line there as we start to talk about distances that we're working with our back line. That's something that we can obviously highlight and show our players as well. And then once that's done, you're obviously just going to tick that. And now you can start to toggle between how long you want that highlight to be. So just kind of shortening it up here. Again, same thing, entering into the editing platform, choosing the tag that you want that to be. For the sake of this, I'm just going to call it demo. There we go. Tagging players within that. I'm just going to tag Chase. I'm sure he won't mind being involved here. And then again, we're just going to put demo in there as well. Once that's done, we're going to hit create. And then again, it's populated in our highlights area over here, being demo and drawing. When I go back and click on it and I hit the play button, it's going to go through that, obviously that toggle of where I've obviously created the draw on screen. There you go. It's populated. It's got the draw that I've made on the screen. It's going to keep that there for about 5 seconds. And then it's just going to carry on with the rest of the game. And then it's just going to flow through very, very naturally. So that's we've spoken about the directed highlight where you can steer the camera yourself. We've had the general highlight, the quick highlight down the bottom here. And now the last one, the last highlight that we can do is actually done automatically for us. So using our artificial intelligence, we're actually able to create highlights within this column art automatically without the coach or the user being able to do anything. So the two that we're able to do at the moment are goals and then the beginning and start of every half and the game itself. So any goal that is scored within the game, you can bet that it's going to be automatically populated once your video has been uploaded. As you can see here, goal, this is not a highlight that I've created myself. This is a highlight that's been created by the artificial intelligence. And just by simply going to that moment within the game, it highlights the time. We click on it, and then it's going to take us straight to a moment of the game of where that goal was scored. So after the goal has been scored and after the highlight has been created, you can go back into that highlight itself by clicking on the 3 dots and then editing that highlight. Good goal there. So again, edit. If I want to tag players, that was Mr. Tyler that had scored that goal. I can just find his name, Tyler, done. Again, make a little comment to him. Great goal, and then hit save. Again, Tyler's now going to get a notification that he's been tagged in a video, the little comment that's associated with it, and we're moving on from there. So hopefully that kind of shows you guys a very, very, very straightforward way of being able to create highlights within our VO platform. It's, again, very user-friendly, very coach-friendly. You can get as in-depth with this platform as you want, but these are the very, very simple ways for you as a coach or for even your players to be able to create highlights. I want to very briefly go into the player profiles here so I can just show you exactly what they entail. And I'll go into my profile to show you a demonstration. So all of these profiles here are what the players get when they're loaded into the roster. Much like a social media account, you've got your headshot, you've got your name, and then all the videos that you've been tagged in will be housed in your VO showcase. This is a way for obviously the players themselves just to be able to see all of their highlights, good or bad. They can go in there and they can have all of their highlights in one location without having to go into individual videos. It's just right within there. They can go to they can go to their profile. They can write a bio about themselves, their birth date, nationality, their preferred foot, their jersey number, everything else. And then this is their unique link to their profile. So just by highlighting this, copy and pasting it, you can put it in a text message, you can put it in an email, you can send this off. As long as the visibility is on, anybody will be able to view that profile page. So someone can literally just go in there, be that like a college coach who's maybe looking to recruit players. They can just send their profile over to the college coach, whether it's grandma or grandpa, they haven't been able to watch their grandson or granddaughter be able to play their games and they just want to be able to see their highlights and not troll through the entire game. Those players can then obviously send that over to them so they can kind of dive in there and watch the favorite bits. So again, we find that this is a fantastic platform, not only for the recruitment purposes for college level here in the US and globally, but also something that's fun for parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins, for them to be able to go in there and watch their family member and all their fantastic highlights that they've made throughout the course of the season. So that's the platform in very quick, and obviously we've just been able to highlight some of the key features that VIO are able to accomplish and do by yourself as a coach or by the players themselves. So to go back into our presentation, I'm hoping, and if we don't, I can take this part myself. I'm hoping that we have Kawus in the meeting here. Kawus, are you in the meeting?
Yes, I just joined this, so sorry, I'm a bit late into this. I was caught a bit by surprise by this meeting, so sorry about this.
That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, 2021 is is going to be a hugely important year for us. There's so many things that we wanna improve on. One of the things that basically what we build products for is for you guys, the customers. So I mean, our first priority is always to do the best that we can. So we are in very close dialogue with all our customers, and we're really listening to them to try to get to do exactly what it is that they're asking us. So one of the things that we'll be looking into is that we want to be able to tag live as well. I mean, doing it after the game is nice, but if it would be possible to do it during the game and then keep all those taggings for afterwards, maybe going in and doing some editing to them and stuff like that is something that we definitely will be looking into. We do have a native iOS app out now, and we plan to put these features into that app. We are working on an Android app as well, so people that are on Android, they can get the same experience. To be honest, we started with the iOS because our data showed that 80% of the usage was from iOS, and because of we don't at that time didn't have capabilities in Android as well. That was kind of a choice, but obviously Android users shouldn't be left behind, so we will do catch up. And then on the editor, I mean, these things about doing these quick highlights that we also talked about is, I would say, our first go at trying to do tagging much faster and much more in depth. So you can do any tags that you want. You can add any tag that you want yourself. Kenneth Larson, you're asking whether you can put in, for example, counter attack and use that as one of the quick buttons. It's not possible at the moment, but since we're working in fast iterations, this is some of the things that will be updated. So you can expect that to work soon. And then we are starting to get some info in more capabilities from our AI. So that means that we will be slowly be able to give you more tags and more info and stats from the AI. AI is never perfect, but it can save you so that your analysis, you can take your time of analysis, way down instead of having to do everything manually. Yeah, next slide. And then we have this. I mean, we really want to do something for athletes. I mean, one of our core beliefs is that that we want to bring technology to everyone. We want to level the access to technology and level access to video to be able to do well. So the things that Lee showed you guys on the player profile, we want to take that and create a great product around that on its own, put that into a native app and give that access to our players and athletes, and giving them the opportunity to follow their performance. So if you guys know Strava, I mean, Strava does really well for runners and cyclists. We want to do something similarly, but for team sports. So we're really looking forward to that. And then faster processing, obviously. I mean, when we started out, I've been with this company for 4 years, and in the beginning, we were really happy that we could post-process within 48 hours. That seemed to be a huge task at that point. we've been taking that down. I think, I don't know what we are at the moment. It's definitely single digit. It kind of depends on, you know, how long the video is. But we'll be going, you know, towards real time, and the results look really promising. So I expect to be able to go, you know, even faster in 21. Cool. If there's any questions, let me look through here. So for football, if I get you right, I mean, it's if we're syncing with other platforms, we don't do any of that yet. I mean, what we are maybe looking into, you know, being able to integrate with other platforms. It's still something that we are considering, so I cannot tell you die hard whether that will be a possibility or not. And then Patrick is asking, are you finding that clubs are actually creating new sponsorship opportunities from using video and incorporating them in the footage on social channel? What I can say is that a bunch of our customers has been asking us, you know, what we can do in that regards. We do want to be able for you guys to be able to take your videos and potentially even monetize on them. So we are thinking about, you know, having some sort of a platform that could help you with that, and having sponsors in. So we could put sponsors, you know, in the image is certainly one of the things that we'll be looking into in 21. Also, it's not there at the moment, but it probably will be. And yes, it records sounds. Include capability of audio. Yeah, I mean, we are at the moment in the camera, you cannot really extend the sound. I mean, with other audios, with all other audio settings and inputs, I don't know how much we can talk about, you know, going forward into maybe adding that, you know, these kind of things in for upcoming products, but we certainly want to be able to do this for you guys. At the moment, it's audio input that sits on the camera. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's all the questions for the time being, Kawus. But if anybody has anything else that they would like to ask us, whether that's about the platform, whether it's about any up and coming features that we might have, and obviously Kawus is, as explained there, we listen to our customers, we listen to our coaches, and we take that feedback and we do the best we can to implement that onto our platform, because at the end of the day, we want to make life as easy for you guys as possible. You know, just having the recording itself is one step, and then taking it a step further within the editing platform, being it creating more artificial intelligent highlights, so there's less time spent you guys breaking the game down, or whether that's new features that we're able to kind of add, such as live tagging into the app that we now have. These are all things that we listen to our customer base on, because hey, if you're happy, we're happy. And so that's who we're directing this for. This is for, like I said at the start of the presentation, this is not something that's just for the elite of the elite. You know, this is something that should be perceived to be used across the board, whether you're at the top level academy or whether you're a grassroots club. This is something that should be available for everybody, and we hope that the system that we've kind of put into place and the platform that we have is something that is very user friendly to everybody involved, whether you're a video analyst at an academy or whether you're just starting out as a grassroots coach. This is something that we've made available to everybody. So I'm obviously coming to the end of our presentation here. I want to thank Soccerex for inviting us to host today. We've been obviously keeping up with everything that Soccerex have been doing over the course of this week, and we think that you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we've loved being able to present here this week. So thank you very much to everybody at Soccerex for allowing us to be here. Thank you to Kawus for coming on and answering the questions from everybody that's here, and obviously thank you to all the VO staff that have been able to kind of help me put this presentation together and execute it here at Soccerex. So thank you to everybody involved. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thank you.